A study of the University of Denver found that people with unresolved childhood emotional neglect are significantly more likely to stay in an invalidating relationship as adults. Not because they don't see the red flags, but because deep down they don't believe that they deserve more. Hi, I'm Carmela Hess, systemic therapist and founder of the Rebel Moms community. Every day, I help women escape their emotional prisons by teaching them how to balance motherhood, feminine power, and their relationships. If that sounds like something you need, go ahead, hit the subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss more of this content on emotional intelligence. So let me get and say this straight. You don't attract people who hurt you because you are broken. You attract them because they match a pattern. Somewhere along the way, you learn that love looks like effort, that affection has to be earned, that if you are constantly shrinking yourself, making less noise, needing less, maybe you will finally be loved. And then you meet someone who feels familiar. They are inconsistent, they invalidate your needs, they love you only when you're easy to love. And your nervous system says, oh, I feel like home. Because it does. But not in a healthy way, but in a recognizable way. When your emotional blueprint was formed in a house where your feelings weren't welcomed, where boundaries were ignored or punished, where your worth depended on your performance, you carry that wound into the adulthood. And you unconsciously seek people who will let you repeat the pattern so you can try to finally win this time. But here's the brutal truth. You can't fix childhood through partnership. No amount of pleasing, performing, or proving will heal a wound that was never yours to carry. And that's why you stay. Because there is a little girl inside of you still believing if I love them enough, they will finally see me. If I'm good enough, they won't leave. If I get smaller, they will choose me. But love that depends on your disappearance isn't actually love. It's reenactment. It's reenactment. The same trauma, it's a prettier costume. Let me ask you something. Why does silence feel safer than confrontation? Why does rejection feel deserved? Why does kindness from others make you suspicious? Because you were trained to expect pain. And anything outside the real respect, tenderness, emotional safety all seems weird, even threatening. So you stay with people who make you feel small because small feels familiar. But you were never meant to shrink, to be loved. You were meant to be fully seen and still chosen. And yes, doing this work is uncomfortable. It requires you to sit with grief of what you didn't get. It requires you to stop chasing validation from people who benefit from your silence. But once you start breaking this pattern, once you stop calling abandonment loyalty, once you stop letting your fear of loneliness lead your choices, something radical happens. You become someone who can hold real love. Not performance, not potential, but presence. And that begins when you stop asking, why do I attract this? But start asking, why do I think this is all I deserve? And if you are already following me, congratulations, you're growing your emotional intelligence every single day. And if you're not, you might never see me again. So follow now and make emotional maturity a lifestyle. Comment below, emotional intelligence is my rebellion, and send this to a woman who keeps calling, hey, love. She needs this truth today. She needs this truth today.